What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge live nightly show. Hope you're doing well today on this Tuesday night. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Actually, there's news to talk about a little bit tonight. So kind of going to run the gamut today with you guys and talk about all this stuff. I already see a lot of comments in here. And Greg, I knew this comment was going to be not from you, but I just knew this comment would be out there. Greg, NIL, though, with women's basketball has nothing to do with NIL with football. I don't know if that's what you mean by that, but has absolutely nothing to do with football. And I see 918 agreed, 1.5 million. Hey, 918, here's the thing. If somebody wants to help pony up to pay women's basketball, somebody to get it, the number one player, I'm not like, that's up to them. If they got a big donation from somebody that wanted to pay up, it's not my thing to judge that. That has nothing to do with OU football. I knew there was going to be a lot of people talking about that tonight. It has absolutely nothing to do with OU football, NIL. So I guess the main thing would be raise more money for NIL for football. If that's what you're meaning, like, do they need to raise more money for football? Okay. But her getting whatever she got, 1 million, 1.5, I don't know what the total is. It doesn't have anything to do with OU football. I'm glad they got her. Number one player in the country. Hey, Steeler man, let me give you an example. Isn't the NIL budget just a big pot? I think that's the thought. No, it's not. It's absolutely not. For instance, what if I'm just going to throw this scenario. What if, for instance, baseball, let's just say one of the guys for baseball that's in the major leagues now decides he wants to give $1 million to school for NIL for baseball. He can do that. If Blake Griffin wants to give $1 million to go get the best player in the country, he can do that. That has nothing to do with OU football. And I mean, if you guys disagree with me, that's fine. And maybe, Hunter, I don't know if you disagree or not, but I don't think it has anything at all to do with football. I don't know why. I think it's kind of funny that people, like, as OU fans, are going to like laugh and say, I can't believe they're going up paying somebody. Hey, do I think $1.5 million is expensive for a women's basketball player? I don't know the going rate, but it sounds like a lot of money. I don't know what they paid her, though, so I can't comment on it. But I think it's absolutely ridiculous to like kind of rain on the parade. They got the number one player in the country. I don't care. If somebody wanted to donate the money and go get her, go for it. To be my guest. So that's kind of what I had to say about that. I didn't think they were going to land her. To be honest, I thought Texas would get her or Texas Tech. I can promise you this. In fact, I know for sure if Texas would have landed her, there would have been no Texas fans complaining about getting her and how much they paid for her. So, hey, Dave. Thanks so much for the super. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Thanks, Dave. You're very supportive doing that, and it means a lot. Appreciate it. Chester, do we even pay that for a defensive down? I don't know what they paid. Let me make this clear. I have no clue what she's getting. I do know she's the number one player in the country, so you would think she's getting a decent pay cut. Yes. I don't know what it is. Where are you seeing it came from a donation and not the collective? Hey, 918, did you see that she's going to be signing an NIL deal with Jordan Brand? That has something to do with NIL too. So I don't know where it's all coming from. I haven't been heard know if it's a donation, a collective. I do know that Pete Nakos put it out that she'll be signing with an NIL deal with the Jordan Brand, which is probably a pretty good penny. So hey, I don't know. I don't follow insiders. I don't know of anything that's been said about it. So maybe you guys do. But and I understand it might not be the 1.5. I get that. But I'm just saying that also is some money. And I don't know where the money came from. But I hope they start spending money in basketball, men's basketball. I hope they start spending a lot of money in football, all of it. I want all sports to be good. Now, I think football has to be good revenue-wise for things to continue. I mean, football's got to step it up. They got to have a good record this year. They got to have a good season. So, so Jordan's working with just OU and not the other Jordan Brent schools. Confused on that question, Greg God. I haven't donated in 9 months. Guess I just won't anymore. Hope y'all bail me out. Chester says. Couple gave the money to get the best pitcher, Nigeria. Yeah. Texas Tech paid a lot of money to get Nigeria. Now, KB says, even if it's a donor, they ponied up more for football recruits. I think you're going to have to expand on what you're saying, KB. I'm confused by that one. I'm confused by what you're saying, KB. Even if it's a donor, they ponied up more for football recruits? Huh? Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Fanstop says, I'm sure the Jordan Brand had an offer on the table if she went to a Jordan school. Probably so. And she did. And there's other schools out there. Colin says, Kobe will get the start, but we know what kind of thumper he is. Let's talk about Heim, a name you've probably forgotten about. No, I've actually heard Heim's name quite a bit over the last few weeks. We'll see. I think when he came out of high school, people were pretty high on him as a kind of an under the radar guy. But we'll see how much he plays. We'll see. Fanstop, I could see. Yeah, Greg, I could too. We're going to get into some other topics now. I knew the Chavez thing would be hot off the presses, hot off the topic here with NIL and whatever it has to do with that. But I'm excited for Jenny Baranczyk. You talk about a coach that's got things going in the right direction, and they're going to have to pay to keep her because everybody's going to be coming after her, the big time schools. That they will. Benjamin says, I disagree. She's worth it. The exposure she will get in the spotlight will be on the program like never before. Look what Caitlin Clark did. She's everywhere now. Yeah, I think that's right. For women's sports, it's going to be massive. I think the people on here are talking about football, but I don't. How much do you think R. Mason Thomas is getting paid? I don't know. I don't know these figures for everybody. I don't. So it's hard for me to comment on this. I'm just happy that OU landed the number one recruit in the nation for women's basketball. That can't hurt your school, and it just can't. So I don't know. I'm confused by some of the it's not really negative. It's just, I guess, comparing it to football. It has nothing to do with football. It's women's basketball. It has nothing to do with football. But hit the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Yeah. We're going to switch gears a little bit. Real quick, though. Caitlin Clark is 1 of 1. Juju isn't pulling them. Yeah, that's true. But I think whoever said that, I think Chavez is in that same kind of category when you talk about number one players in the country. Paige Beckers, Juju, Caitlin Clark. You can go back a few years ago. You can keep going through it. And I also think this, and you guys may disagree with me on this, and that's fine. I think it's when you have a number one player in women's basketball, I think the chances of that player not living up to their hype is less than like football. I think football, there's more guys that are rated higher that may not be as in women's basketball. I think if you're rated that high, the chances of you being pretty good are pretty high. I just think that it's a little bit different compared to football rankings, in my opinion. I don't like the commercials either, Monty. I wish I could do something about it, but I can't. I think on your end you can do premium at that cost. So I don't know the answer to that. Colin says if Dolby's back 100%. By the way, they talked to Dolby tonight, interviews after the practice. Says he'd start make this defense have a top 5 upside in the nation. He was amazing last year. Daniels has some Isaiah Simmons, a guy. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to do. Any new injuries? No, actually. Deion Burks did not have a boot on, so that's good news. Let me see what KB said here. A donor ponied up more for a women basketball player. First off, KB, who's the donor? Nobody. I don't know. What if the donor is a former basketball player? I don't know. This is so silly that people are. I think it's. Hey, and by the way, KB or 918 said. Wild, KB, never happened at Texas. I think Texas got some pretty good players other than football. They've got some men's basketball player. The guy they got this last year, they paid pretty good money for. The freshman, they paid pretty good money for him. I'm just saying, like, and what's crazy is I'm sure they were running about the same NIL package for Chavez as OU was. So I don't think she went to OU just for just the money. I think they were probably equal with Texas Tech and Texas. That's what I would have to say. I'm about done talking about the whole Chavez whatever money. I don't know how much money Chavez made. Okay. And I just think it's ridiculous that people are whining over it. Has nothing to do with football. It has absolutely nothing to do with football. I'm sorry. This is kind of silly. Let's switch topics. I'm going to get kind of heated if I don't. Mike Gundy today comes out, says he wants to play Oklahoma in spring practice, spring game. And I'll say this, smart move by Mike Gundy. Smart move by Mike Gundy, because basically he does this and said, if they don't want to play us, whatever. He came out first and said it. And so now he's going to play the card as well. If OU doesn't want to play it, then OU doesn't want to play it. But he didn't want to play it when it was a real game. Now he wants to play it when it's a spring practice. And I understand. I like scrimmaging other teams. I said that from the get-go, I don't know how many weeks ago. I like it. Does it have to be OSU? No, doesn't have to be OSU in my opinion. I just think I like the fact that you could play other teams and charge some money and go watch it. I think it'd be pretty good. So, man, some of this stuff in the chat is actually ridiculous, but whatever. He wants to play OU in a scenario that he knows is not going to happen. Yeah. Well, and he said it. He put it out there. Now the ball's in OU's court, even though it's got to pass the NCAA thing as far as Colorado and Syracuse first before anything happens. So we'll see. He does like to throw it. He wants some talk is all, Tyler. He does like to throw stuff out there like that. And that's probably part of it too. So no one knows how much someone paid for football player or for women's hoops. OU had donors giving millions for the last 50 years, and Texas even more. And it won't lot OU Texas game last 25 years. Let's see here. BV's afraid. No, he's not afraid of anything. I just don't think. I think BV's a type. If it's passed with NCAA, I would see him considering playing against other teams. Now, will it be OSU? I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, I think Brent Venables was willing to play them in a non-conference game at one time. So who knows? He's a man. He's 40. He's actually a lot older than that. How long ago was that? Anybody know? How long ago was that? I'm sure somebody could look it up. Hunter, you can probably look it up. When was that? How many years? What is Gundy now? Trying to think. Is he about 55? Maybe not. Caden Jones committing to the Pokes? Really? Oh, I was pretty close 17 years ago. You think he's committing to the Pokes? Oh, there you go. Maybe so. That'd be interesting. RSJ, Boganowski. Let me see if I can get to that comment. RSJ and Boganowski are, Colin's dropping some facts about some of the players this year. Love it, Colin. Specifically defensively. Bonged. Wow. That's interesting. Out of all the teams that he could go to, I really thought it was going to be Louisville. But if he's going to end up at OSU, interesting. Okay, that's going to be interesting. We'll see how that works out for him. Hey, they've been known to do good with running backs, so we'll see how Caden, if he goes there, how he does. 918 saw him wearing an OSU shirt today. So there you go. What do you think about that, 918? What do you think about him going to OSU? No, it's not going to be over. It's if anything, it could be like who I'm going to go to the opposite school. But oh wait, that's right. 2017 lost or 17 years ago. The other thing I want to talk about, and then we'll open up the phone lines and y'all can call in if you want to come at me with some of the takes or whatever. A couple things. One, this is totally off topic and a little random, but I don't know if anybody watched the TGL, the golf league. The finals were tonight. It was great. I hope they continue that. I thought it was great. One of the main things I want to talk about tonight is this the first of many when I say this? And I'm going to preface it with this. Is this going to be the first of many? You had it happen today for the first time ever. A GM fired the head coach. Andrew Luck fired the head coach. Now, I think it is the first of many. I do. I think this is going to be something that happens a lot more often down the road. But Andrew Luck made the move, said, go in a different direction. I do think it's weird timing. Like, why now? Why didn't they do it earlier on? But hey, I guess he wasn't happy with things, wanted to go a different route. And I am too, Greg. I'm very surprised. Like, why didn't you do that early on? But that one didn't matter who did it. He was getting fired regardless. Okay, Hunter, I get it. But maybe you need to explain. I don't know all the details behind it. But I think it's very interesting that he made the move. That it wasn't the AD. It was specifically Andrew Luck. So that tells me that Andrew Luck has all the power at Stanford as far as running the program, football program. 918 likes it. GM needs to have that power. So, yeah, I think if you're going to treat it kind of like NFL, I mean, if they're in charge of the football program, the general manager, I don't really have a problem with it either. So KB says, I know Jay's upset over this conversation. I just thought Texas football school, OU football school. If you have someone step up for her, but no one person, an elite wide receiver O-line, this is a totally different scenario than football. You can't compare it. They are paying money for a lot of players in football, and there's a lot of schools going after them. There's probably not a whole lot of schools going after the number one player in the country in women's basketball. Maybe a handful. I don't know. I mean, I think you can't even compare this to the number one player in football. It's a totally different scenario. I just think it's totally different. You can't compare it. But hey, I'm a football guy. I want football to succeed. I'll say that right now. I want NIL to be towards football. But if you have somebody wanting to give money and try to get the best player in women's basketball, by all means, go for it. I don't care who you are. Go for it. I mean, what are you going to do? Say, nah, I think, you know what? Hey, real quick, you know what? We're not going to take that money from you. Instead, we want it to go to the football team. Are you going to, well, then they're not going to give the money. I think it's kind of silly. It's different. It's a different animal. Pete Nako, he did say that, Stevie G. We talked about that earlier. It's not just the collective. It's not, I don't know. Maybe we're going to find out more about this in the near future. So maybe we will. Hey, let's open up the phone lines, Hunter. Get them open. Before we do, check out the FanStop, thefanstop.com. Code SURGE to get 10% off your first 3 months. Check them out. Great hats, great shirts, great hoodies. It's getting warmer outside. Get you the short sleeve shirt. Sign up for that Shirt of the Month Club. Get those phone lines open. There they are right there. If you want to call in, give me a call. OSU broke? ? Texas fans were saying they didn't want to spend all that money on Chavez on Twitter. They are so wild for that. I don't know. That's what Jackson says. We got KB starting us off tonight. What's up, KB?
What's going on, brother?
Well, how's it going, man?
Good. No, I didn't say number one. I said elite. And all I'm saying, you can't, hold on. All I'm saying is you can compare. She's the number one recruit. granted. But you can get an elite OL offensive lineman. You can get an elite wide receiver for that amount of money, but nobody has stepped up and done it. I just thought it was funny they did it. Somebody's willing to do it for the women's basketball, but nobody for the football.
Nobody did it for Michael Fasusi? How'd they pay him?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But he 1.5, exactly what I said. And he's the one in what, 2 or 3 years?
He was the number one offensive tackle, and they got him.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point, though. Y'all complain about players on the football team. Knowing it's been 3 years, he's the one. But you spent that much on a woman's basketball player. Somebody did, which I'm saying is fine. I think it's a great thing. I'm not taking anything away from her. I just find it strange that they can find it that easily for that. But y'all have complained about the football recruiting for a couple of years.
I don't think they found anything easily, and I don't even know how much they're paying her, and I don't know who donated it.
I think they're paying her about 1.5 because they said that Texas was at 1.3 or something like that.
Texas paid 1.3 for her though,
and refused to go any higher. They were.
But you're talking $200,000, KB.
But Texas isn't cheap on their base football team either.
No, but you see what I'm saying? Like the people complaining about OU, Texas could complain too. They were going to go 1.3.
Yeah, so, but I'm not cheap. But at the same time, my football team's not suffering from it though either. We've got people that step up in both areas, is what I'm saying.
I agree with you on that, and I agree that OU NIL wise football, I would love to see him spend more on some certain players in the portal and things.
That's my point. I just find it funny that the football team is struggling, and we have these, well, not we, but y'all have these conversations about portal, missing on these portal people maybe because of money or some of these recruits. And that's what I thought, dang, they ponied up for her, but this other's kind of been a struggle. And that's what I kind of find weird because OU is a football school, not a basketball school.
I agree they're a football school, big time. They're not a women's basketball school.
That's what I'm saying. And Texas would have paid 1.3 for it, and my football team sucked, I'd complain too. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I would complain. You're wrong. But they're not. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're doing it for football. They were willing to do it for basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at.
I understand, but isn't OU about top 8 in NIL in football?
Top of what?
Top 8.
I don't know what. I don't know what OU is. I don't have any idea.
It was put out that they were 8, but I may be wrong. And hey, I agree with you, KB, that OU's got to step it up NIL in football. I agree with that. But they also got to step it up in men's basketball. They got to step.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, women's basketball is not a revenue sport.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't expect it with our football or our basketball or our either one, women's or men's. If they did it, it would surprise me. I mean, they can do it. It's just that's not normal for them to go like that and do it. But let me ask you this. Do you think the revenue sharing is going to help you or hurt you where you can just actually pay the players $18 million a year? You know what I'm saying? Out of the school budget.
Everybody's going to be, a lot of the schools are going to be able to do that though. So
that's what I'm saying. You think that's going to,
you got to have more than just that. You got to go higher in NIL above the revenue stuff.
Well, no. But that's on top of NIL.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You got the revenue stuff. It needs to be most of it towards football.
Yeah. I think
you can't.
Was it 22 or 21.5 or something like that?
Yeah, I believe so. Hey, one thing though, I was going to say, if I can remember it. I kind of lost my train of thought. I'll think of it in a minute. But hey, I know what I was going to say, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if somebody donated or what it was.
Right.
But
I got you.
For instance, what if Kevin Durant says, I'm going to donate money to get the best women's basketball player? You're going to say, no, you have to get that.
Well, she did sign, y'all are indeed a school, but she also signed with Nike the other day.
OU's a Jordan school.
Well, she signed with Nike the other day.
Yeah, and she's going to do an NIL deal with Nike.
So, I mean.
You know who else just signed the Nike Jordan brand is Trae Young.
Oh, who's that?
Trae Young?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a basketball person?
Yeah, NBA, OU.
Yeah, you know me in basketball.
Oh, I know. What I'm saying is this, KB, and I don't know anything about who donated, like I said, but if Kevin Durant said he wanted to give money to women's basketball, Texas wouldn't take it.
Do what now?
If Kevin Durant
Uh-huh.
says we're going to donate $3 million, we're going to give half of it to men's basketball, half of it to women's.
Uh-huh.
You going to have a problem with that?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying, but we're not. But being a football school, that didn't happen with a basketball deal, and we're still struggling on the football side of it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I understand that.
I'm not saying I turned anything down.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't know that. I don't know who donated, what the amount is, or anything. So it's hard for me to comment.
And I know Chuck there says we're not, and Chuck saying we're not struggling to get players. I'm not saying you're struggling to get players, but y'all, you have to admit it hadn't been the last 3 years like OU has been.
Well, last year was their lowest recruiting class. The year before they were top, what, 7?
Yeah, but 7 or 8. Yeah, I think
they were about where they've been.
But what I'm saying is, even with that, the development's kind of suffered a little bit, but they're recognizing the talent. I think has been a problem too.
Well, it's a lot, and hopefully Nagy helps. But
yeah, that he will help that.
We'll see. So,
all right, guys,
appreciate it, KB.
You bet, man.
Good night, man. Let's get to Jackson. What's up, Jackson?
Hey, what's up? So, going off of what all was just said, that was a lot. First of all, this was said today on the ref is something that I did not know. That apparently a couple years ago, there was somebody that donated to the OU girls team $5 million. A donor. Apparently this is known, and this was said today on the ref. And now, I don't know if that money's been spent on the team yet, or if this was maybe something that was saved up in order to go get a player of a caliber like Aaliyah Chavez. But I think it's just crazy that everyone's like, well, Oklahoma, they shouldn't be spending this money on this kind of basketball player whenever the football team's down. Whenever, one, if you have the opportunity and if you can afford and go out and get a generational talent in any sport, I think you go and do it.
Well, here's and 918 says 5 years ago, that money's probably gone. Hey, and let me clarify something for what KB was saying. I'm by no means saying I want all these people to donate all this money towards women's basketball. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
I'm saying
I'm not either.
I'm saying I'm happy they got the number one player in women's basketball. And do I want people to donate football? Yeah, it makes the money. I do.
Yeah.
But until I know exactly where this money came from, I'm not going to sit here and whine about it. Well, they spent so much money from the collect, whatever it is. I don't know where the money came from. I don't know how much she's getting paid. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm glad they landed her.
Yeah.
I am.
And this is something that me and you talked about earlier on the video too, was I'm sure Trae Young had some sort of impact on this. I'm sure he worked to help her get that Jordan deal. Because Trae Young, his name is nationally known, really big impacts. Whenever he says something, there's going to be a lot of eyes on it and stuff. But I think it's just really incredible. I think that Jenny was able to do this. And most OU fans, they don't care for basketball at all. It doesn't matter if the men's and girls teams are going to be ranked in the top 10 both. They're just not going to care. But I think but this is a seismic thing. And I don't know. I believe she's the highest ranked player ever that OU has gotten in girls basketball.
Yeah.
I think she's ranked higher than Courtney Paris was, and we all know how dominant
she's the number one player in the country. I mean,
and she's on the level of Juju and Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark. But something else that I was going to say when it comes to the take about DeMarco Murray and Caden Jones. If you're a running back, right, and if you see the Oklahoma's having all these issues when it comes to a rotation and stuff, you would be a little bit concerned going into that because you don't know how you're going to be used, when you're going to be used. I mean, I think that's something that needs to be stated.
But I also think, as some people have said on here, that how high is OU on Caden Jones? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I would be surprised if he ends up at OSU, but it sounds like he's going to commit there, is what 918's saying. So,
yep.
But yeah, appreciate it, Jackson. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Let's see here. Fans are not the issue and should never be blamed. Administration needs to do their jobs. I'm not blaming any fans. Administration does need to do their jobs. But if I think the thing is that fans are whining about NIL. Well, NIL it's from two waves. Like it's a fundraising and a trying to get money for your program. So the program needs to be in a direction that you're wanting to see it go as a fan, or you're probably going to pull back on your donations. So there's a lot that goes into just donating money. I mean, nobody's just going to sit here and just fork out money if they don't feel like it's going in the right direction. So there's a lot to it. OU non-revenue sports mecca, baby. Hey, they are right now. They are. And Steeler Man, how does it help? I know me and you will probably disagree with this on this. I don't think the spring game, I know if Jeremy was on there, he'd probably rip me right now, but I don't think it's that big of a deal for fundraising. I just don't. So I think more fans care more about wins. Go win 9 or 10 games. That'll help fundraising a lot compared to a spring game. Hey, if OU played OSU and Bedlam in the spring game, Steeler Man, as Mike Gundy said, $25 a ticket. Who would go to that? Put it in the chat right now. Put it in the chat. If it was $25 a ticket and you played 2 Saturdays in a row, one at OSU and one at OU, would you go? $25 a ticket. I'd be interested to know what people think. Benjamin says, nobody should be heading on the money we gave her. She chose us. End of story. And I would love to know. 918 says he would. I would go. 918 said, who was it? Hope Jordan can help us get some big men for men's basketball. Yeah, that would be nice. They need one or two. Benjamin would go. I did want players to get paid. I wanted a flat, reasonable fee, not this. Well, they're never going to have a flat fee. Everybody's going to get paid differently. Let's see. There was something up here I wanted to get to. Y'all wanted this. Y'all whined about kids getting paid for decades. Now deal with the criticism. Stop blaming fans. Blame the players. Wait, am I missing something in the chat? Who's blaming fans? Did I say that? Did I say I blame the fans? I'm confused on that. And by the way, I think players should get paid. And I hear a lot of whining. I heard a lot of whining this week about the NCAA basketball transfer portal. And let me just say this, a lot of whining. Why are they opening up the portal when the basketball season's still going on? Why would they do that? Why are they doing that? That's all I've heard all week from people all over TV, everything, radio. Well, why can the coach go to another school? Season's still going on. Xavier, their season's over. He went to Texas. But games are still going on. Why can coaches leave whenever they want and people get mad that the players are entering the portal? Now, I agree that portal dates need to be changed, but I get tired of the whining about the players when coaches can do whatever they want. And until that changes, I'm for the players. So, and I know people will disagree with that. That's fine. I'm for the players. If coaches can do it, daggone players can do it. Change the date. That's fine. You change the date of the transfer portal, change the date that the coaches can leave their program. Period. You know what? Texas has an opening. Xavier coach wants to go there. He's got to wait a week or two. Sorry, wait till the season's over. I get so tired of it because it's always players this, players that, players this, players that. Well, I'm for the players. So I'm sure there'll be people hate that what I just said. And exactly 918. There were people interviewing for a job during the March Madness. I mean, come on. I think you would have big crowds for Bedlam. I do too. I think you have great crowds for it. And I don't know how it would hurt you. I really don't. People say, well, you don't want to lose a game. It would be a game where you would be playing a bunch of different players. Nobody would take it as like a real game. You could even do scoring a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be great. And it doesn't have to be OSU, in my opinion. I don't care if it's Bedlam. Give me TU. Give me North Texas. I don't know. Just play a game against somebody. I would like to see it. Ian Gomez says college sports is done compared to what it was like. Yeah, that's right. I think people need to get ready for it and be with it. Move on with the times. It's changing. Jump on board. I'm on board. I think things got to be fixed as far as dates of portals and different things and put some rules behind it. But I'm all in on this. I'm telling you this right now. It didn't really limit how many games I watched in football or basketball this year. I promise you that I watched. But yeah, phone lines are open if you'd like to call in. Should be linked at the top. Give me a call. Talk whatever you want to talk about. We can talk Chavez. We can talk Andrew Luck, GM, firing a coach. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. And I think Andrew Luck's going to be a good GM. There's the phone link again if you'd like to call in. Dalpo says, it sounds like it's going to be more even in the future, though, as just opposed to highest bidder. I don't think it's always the highest bidder right now. I mean, I think there's certain that depends on the player. And even in the Chavez thing, I don't know if OU was the highest bidder or not. I thought a lot of people thought Texas Tech was going to pay more. But hey, Texas Tech went out and got Nigeri Kennedy, and they paid a lot of money for her, but they're also paying money in football too, but they haven't won much in football. But maybe they're going to start ponying up. Softball Bedlam is April 9th. There you go. That's right. I wonder if Nagy can fire BV. I don't think so. Not with Joe C there. No. His dad, Oliver, was a great athletic director and league commissioner for a long time, so I think he's going to do well in that row. Yeah, you're right. I think he will too. Will revenue sharing change anything? Aren't. Will revenue sharing change anything? Aren't. Not quite sure. I think maybe you're just asking if will revenue sharing change anything? Maybe you meant that, Ian. And then we'll get to the caller here. But revenue sharing, I think I would think most sports that are, heavy football, they're going to put most money into football. I don't think it's going to differ. It's going to help teams, but at the same time, it means, to me, it's really, and you still got to be above and beyond on NIL. You're going to have revenue sharing, fine, but you still got to pay a lot of NIL on top of revenue sharing, because the revenue sharing is similar to every team. A lot of the teams are going to be similar in that. It's the NIL where things get different. What's up, Germ? You on here?
I'm here, man. My brakes are grinding, but I'm here.
Your brakes are grinding. What's up with that?
Probably need change, Jay.
Maybe so. Is it raining?
Is it what?
Is it raining? Sometimes when my brakes get wet there.
No, it's not raining. I'm driving Jay, I pulled into Walmart in my 07 Odyssey, and my brakes are grinding. It's not a surprise. They've grinded, man. Yeah. I'm like the OU offense last year. We already said it. Hey, has the talk been about Bedlam? Is it Bedlam talk tonight?
There's been a little bit of Bedlam talk, not a whole lot.
What about the Andrew Luck stuff? Talking on that?
A little bit. But do you think more GMs are going to do this in the future, Jer?
I don't know, because wasn't there on this kind of a unique situation, because wasn't this coach already in having some issues, or am I wrong?
Yes, that's what Hunter said too. So, but
Title IX stuff.
Okay, but Jeremy, it's interesting that it came from him and not the AD.
Well, maybe the AD's in on it, and that guy's going to lose his job too. I don't know, Jay, but
I think it's probably because they're setting a precedent that Andrew Luck is in charge of the football team. That's what I think.
Oh, absolutely is. And
so
I didn't even know Andrew Luck was in that role until I saw the news.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't even remember that. Living under a rock, apparently.
That's not surprising. But yeah, phone lines are open if you'd like to call in. People are talking about the Stanford thing now, Jeremy, on here. You guys still live, of course, Okie. We are still live. OU does win the baseball game today over ORU. Not a surprise there. Daniel Carver's asking you a question there, Jeremy. What else, man?
What else? Not much, Jay. I don't. I know. I figured you guys probably talked about the talk with what Mike Gundy said, but
Yeah, we did.
Two things got to happen. One, NCAA's got to approve it first, and then two, I think BV would follow what most others do. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think once I look for this, I look for once one game happens, I look for it kind of be a snowball effect, kind of like the spring game being canceled. Once one team did it, other teams started to do it. Oh, it looks like you have a black eye.
Really?
Your right eye looks like it's black.
Yeah, it's just a shade, Jay. No one's beating me up today.
It looks like you got punched in the face, dude.
I mean, I feel like I've been beat up today, but I haven't been. Okay, this is the biggest. I'm glad you said this because I'm about to get fired up. I'm absolutely ticked off about this.
About Russell Wilson?
It's ridiculous.
What is?
$21 million.
Well, that's the going rate these days in the NFL, Germ. Stop watching it if you're mad about it.
It is unbelievable, man, how overpaid he is.
Well, I mean, are you forking out the money?
That's not what I said.
Why do you care? Why do you care?
It's ridiculous.
I think it's a lot of money. I agree. Don't they also have James Winston on that team?
Yes. Hey, Jay. Wait, Jay, you don't think it's ridiculous?
I do think it's a lot of money, Jerem, especially after signing James Winston. I don't get why you would have both of them.
It's 1 year for $21 million.
Yeah, you should be happy. It's a rival making an awful move. That's right.
Hey, unfortunately, Bagman, I agree with you. Unfortunately, it does matter what the NCAA thinks. So,
yeah, KB's dead right on that. That's more like what the Cowboys would do. Although the Cowboys, here's what the Cowboys do, KB. They don't pay guys in free agency to come. They pay the guys that have been there for years and they overpay them and they hold on to them too long, AKA Elliott. I mean, just they should have got rid of him earlier. Same with Prescott.
Hey,
should not have re-signed for that deal.
Okie Lawn guy, Gundy just said basically that he likes what the Colorado stuff and that
he called for Bedlam. He called for
basically called for Bedlam preseason style.
Twice, 2 games, one there, one here in Norman.
Yeah. Did you talk at all about the Cooper Witten stuff?
What about Cooper Witten? Because he was out there today?
Yes.
What about it? I don't understand what you're asking.
Well, does Jim Nagy just need to say, hey, Jason Witten, we got a job for you. Joe John Finley, goodbye.
Well, I think that'd be great. I like Cooper Witten a lot, Jerry.
Hey, you talk about a splash onto your new job. If Jim Nagy rolled into a presser tomorrow and said, Joe John Finley is fired and Jason Witten is hired, you might as well make a statue of Jim Nagy for Sooner fans.
Please. It's not happening.
I didn't say it's happening, but admit it. Why are you saying geez?
It's not going to happen.
Who said it's going to happen?
Well, you're throwing a scenario out there.
I said, you know what would be great, Jay? And every Sooner fan would be in love with the Jim Nagy hire even more.
Yeah, I like the hire. I like it a lot. So
I do too.
Jeez, Greg.
Why are you saying geez?
Jeez, Germ. Jeez. It would be more of like Bedlam flag football.
You know, I'm sorry. I speak my mind on here. It's what I do. I'm just literally feeling you like telling you what I would love to see. Okay.
Hey, Okie, they're not paying a GM in basketball. Not going to happen.
They absolutely are.
No, they're not.
George Stoya said within the next month.
You think they will?
Well, I'm just saying what he said. Next month or two.
I don't know if they will. Hey, Germ, transparent, Daniel says.
You know, I try to be, Daniel. I try to be.
Of course. Dak for Stafford 5 years ago. Yeah, I'm not a Dak fan. Never have been, never will be. I think he's just a decent quarterback. He's not going to win you any big-time games. And by big-time games, I mean postseason, not regular. I care less about regular season games. So where's the phone line? I need to call in. It's at the top. Hunter can drop it in here again for you, Okie.
Give Okie his medicine. He needs to call in. He needs his call-in medicine right now.
KB opened it up first tonight. KB with the opening.
The addiction. Who opened it? KB?
KB, man. We had a little good discussion.
Okie's got to get something off his chest, it sounds like.
Yeah, man. What's the weather like there?
It's beautiful, Jay.
It's been good here the last few days. What about Porter Moser? You got Xavier's Field now.
Who'd Xavier hire?
They hired Patino.
Golly, what a great hire. You know what's funny, Jay? This is hilarious.
I got a question.
No,
wait. Before we get Okie, anytime Porter Moser, like his name is even brought up, your voice just rages and gets into this. It's so wild.
I'll tell you why, Jay. It's laughable. People like you, it's laughable who keep throwing the name Porter Moser's. He's the next Nova coach. Porter Moser.
Wait, who did I? Did I
what? No, but
you said people like you.
You think he's going to get a job, a big time job? Guess what?
People
don't want him. People don't want the man.
I have never said that. I don't know.
People don't want him, Jay.
You must be doing a podcast with somebody else after this one.
People don't want the man.
Maybe you're getting ready to enter the transfer portal, and you've been doing a podcast.
Don't want the man.
Yeah, let's get to Okie Lawn.
People don't want him, Jay.
What's up, Okie Lawn guy?
Jeremy. First, geez. Okay. Don't be coming at Jay saying he don't want Porter Moser. You're the one who can't stand the guy.
What? Hey, wait. Who am I talking to? Am I talking to the guy 4 nights ago called me and said, you know what, Jeremy, you're right. I don't want him here. Wait, is that the same Okie Lawn guy?
Did you ask me that question, or are you just saying that's what I said? Because see how you're twisting this? Like I was talking to you, and now you're turning it on me.
I'm not turning on anyone. I'm just saying what you said.
That's what he does.
No, I thought you said you didn't
want him.
Come
on. What? Why? But you came at Jeremy saying he doesn't want Porter Moser. Who has been the one that says, oh, if Porter Moser goes, oh, well, no big deal. See ya.
Me.
Who did that?
Who did that? I've said it. I'll say it every day that ends in Y and twice on Sunday.
Why? You don't believe in
anything.
You haven't believe in continuity?
Yeah. Hey, I do believe in continuity. Not when it's crap. I don't want to have continuity with that. But they've been mediocre the entire Porter Moser era.
He went to the NCAA tournament and almost beat UConn.
Well, wait, he went to the tournament of 68? They're one of the top 68 teams in the country. They finished 13th out of 16th in a conference.
The conference was tough.
Absolutely was.
They were predicted to get like maybe the last team in. They ended up being a 9 seed. Almost could have been an 8.
Yep.
And
I gave it up to him, didn't I?
Germ, let me ask you this. You think he's staying?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't want him to stay. I'll finish that sentence for him. He doesn't want him to stay. So he's going to say he hopes he gets fired tomorrow and twice on Sunday.
They're not firing him.
No, they're not firing Porter Moser. No way.
I said no one's coming to get him either.
Well, actually, it's interesting you say that because I actually talked to a guy who's a writer. I say I talked to him. I direct messaged him because I was just curious. I didn't think he'd actually respond. 2 guys from Villanova. Both said they were like reporters or writers for Villanova Hoops. And I messaged both of them. One of them actually replied back to me. He said, Moser is not our guy. So
I could have told you that last week.
Why didn't you tell us?
I did. I said he cannot be their top candidate.
You said he cannot be.
Yeah,
you didn't come out and say
he wasn't their top
you didn't come out and say he's not. There's a difference.
He cannot be their top candidate. That means he's not.
Didn't Villanova?
Come on.
Villanova hire somebody?
Did they hire someone yet?
No, the guy didn't. He wouldn't tell me who they were going to hire, but he just was very adamant that Moser was not the guy. So
I
was hoping. I was trying to play the percentages with him, but he didn't. But
what's up?
I believe that they are going to hire a GM. So I'm with Jay on this. Or no, wait. Yes.
You're with me?
No, yeah. I'm with you, Jeremy, that they are going to hire a GM, Jay. I've actually heard it multiple times.
Yeah. Okie. Part of the deal and I said this 3 days ago, when Porter Moser came out after the game against Florida, against UConn, and said, you win in April and May with your NIL. It was one of two things. He was either saying it to shove it in OU's face when he goes and takes a job like maybe Drake. I think he could get the Drake job. He would take that. Or it was to challenge OU to do something different. So maybe it's the latter.
Why would he go Drake?
Yeah, that would be a step down. That wouldn't even be a lateral move.
It's not a step down, guys. Sorry.
Yes, it is.
But it's not, Jason.
Your biggest complaint of Porter Moser is he can't keep guys. You aren't keeping him at Drake.
Jay,
you get a good
Drake.
Even
Drake.
Drake's as good of a basketball job as OU.
No, it's not.
I just said it. Yeah.
You just compared OU basketball to Drake.
Yeah, Missouri Valley, near
come on.
Iowa, Chicago area.
OU's a mid-major now. OU's a mid-major. Okay.
Yep. OU's a mid-major, guys. So just go ahead and just don't sprint the program. No big deal. Hey, we should go ahead and schedule a home and home with Oral Roberts. Maybe do a spring game against UCO. Schedule NSU.
Okie. Who's a better basketball job, Gonzaga or OU?
Gonzaga.
It's a mid-major conference.
You can kick up Gonzaga and Drake.
Mid-major conference.
Germ, come on.
What makes OU better? The fact they're in the SEC?
Jeez.
You didn't compare him. You didn't say Porter was going to go to Gonzaga. You said Drake, and then you compared OU to Drake, and now you're bringing Gonzaga into the conference.
Jay and Okie. What makes OU a better basketball job than Drake? Go. Don't say that.
Easier, better.
What makes OU a better job than Drake?
Well, just it's a national school. It's not a mid-major. It's in a big-time conference.
It's a proud.
You can't use conference. I just said it.
You can get better players to Oklahoma than you can at Drake.
Actually, I don't
know.
I think you can.
Better tradition.
I don't think you can.
I think you can.
Better tradition. More NIL money.
I don't know that OU's got more NIL than Drake.
When's the last time Drake has got a guy like Fears, Trey Young, Buddy Hill, Blake Griffin? Should I go on some more? Or
no, those are great. I agree with you on the tradition part. But does Drake have a football program?
No.
So
I mean, I don't know. Not that I'm aware. I don't know if they do or not.
I don't think they do. You're the main thing there. I would like to know what their NIL is compared to OU.
You know, and that's the one thing that kind of bugs me. I got on. I think Jeremy, you got on it the other night too, and because I had mentioned it to you, was just it is the hottest of hot takes, and it is just a very annoying take. Is that I heard some guy got on this Twitter space the other night, and he said, "Well, I hope there's no females on this thing, but my blanket opinion that OU is a football only school, and there's all the other sports can just take a back seat because we're all about football here, and people need to just take it and accept it and stuff. We ain't here for any other sport but football." And I was like, that is the worst absolute take in the whole world. I mean, why? Why would you say that?
Well, OU is a football school.
Why can't it be a OU?
I want OU to be a football school. because that's what makes
It's the same thing as Duke as a basketball school. It's just always going to be the thing that you associate with OU.
Yeah.
So we can't have a top tier basketball program.
You can have a top tier, but to do that, you're going to start forking out a lot more money, or you will never have it.
A lot more monies.
Yeah, I'd rather than put more money towards football. I wanted to pony up for basketball as long as you like. If you're going to say next year we're going to give $3 million more to basketball, that's fine. But you also got to be giving a lot more to football. I don't want it just like I don't want the skills to tip any direction. Is that like women's basketball? Chavez, they got her today.
Yeah, how did that happen?
I don't want it to tilt.
Jay, you want them to flip. You want the skills to be tipped towards football.
Correct.
Okay, and how did they get Chavez?
Yeah, how much money did that cost?
We have already talked about this for the first 20.
Oh, okay, all right.
I didn't, Jay. I think Harold Ham had a lot to do with it.
Who?
Wow, Harold Ham.
Cool.
I don't know who Harold Ham is.
Go look him up. I think he had some part in it. I'm just gonna say he was shaking her hand at the game. He's a oil and gas guy. University of Oklahoma. Like,
oh wow, okay.
He's an older guy, but
So why people in here would ask why isn't he donating to football more money?
I would have to read Harold Ham's background. I just know he was shaking her hand, so he was at the game watching women's basketball. So I don't know why, Jay. I need to look it up more.
From Enid.
Hey, I will say, Jay, and to you is that you're saying like, why wouldn't he donate more to football? No, I actually would love to have a guy who is like that, who almost sounds like he's like maybe the Boone Pickens of Oklahoma athletics. And I would think that'd be awesome to have a proud supporter like that, a big time supporter for the hoops program. And maybe you can have, I know you is always going to have big time supporters for the football program, but we need a big time supporter like that to come and, pony up some serious cash, just kind of like what O'Brate did for the OSU baseball team.
No, listen, we had this argument early on here. Me and KB went at it for a while.
Oh, okay.
No, listen, I agree. I want them to fork money towards women's basketball, men's basketball, all of it, but not to the determent of football. For example, if it was a former basketball player, Blake Griffin, that says, I'm only giving money to basketball, that's fine. I get that. But if it's like some tycoon of a company, I'd rather that money go towards the football program. I don't know. It's whoever wants to donate money, donate it. I don't know.
To say this to this is don't be surprised if Porter Moser goes to a mid-major before next season.
Hey,
do you think he's going to leave?
Don't be surprised for him to go to a mid-major.
He's
like
leaving.
Drake.
You think he leaves?
If there's a job opening that'll take him, yes. He's trying to leave, I think.
Hey, thanks for the call, Okie.
All right, guys. Well,
Appreciate
Boomer Sooner, and hey, prayers out for, I know this may sound silly, but tomorrow Scott Mother finds out about his shoulder, and just praying. I talked to him after the game. Man, the guy is just, he's got a heart of gold, and
yeah.
I'm praying for him that he gets good results, and that we're at best that it's going to be 2 weeks, and he's going to be back there catching fastballs again. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, Okie. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it. Always fun bantering. Hey, Jay, it's also a couple prayer. I know Famone.
Hey, okay, yeah, go, and then I got to say something. Yeah.
Famone, prayers out to Famone. I know the kidney being removed, and then also our dad. I don't know if you already said this, Jay.
I don't know.
Our dad got assessed by the assisted living place and was denied. He was denied for the one that we really wanted him to be in because he needs too much care. So that's not good news. I went and toured another one tonight. Really like it. They assess him tomorrow or the next day. So prayers up that he will pass that assessment. You know what I'm going to do, Jay? And this sounds stupid, silly, but I got to have fun with it. When we finally get him in an assisted living, I'm making a graphic and I'm going to say committed. Okay? That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to say committed.
Hey, we
committed to Forest Hills or committed to Bella Rosa, wherever it is, okay?
Go for it, Jerm. Go for it. Hey, we can't leave here without trivia. And I got a good one to kind of come at you with. Trivia tonight. Here we go. Be ready. Be ready for trivia. The great program, just massive, unbelievable program of Drake. Tell me their last NCAA tournament victory in the first round, the actual first round, not first four, first round. When was the last time they won a first round game other than this year? Other than this year, Germ.
You got to
This
say
is
that.
tremendous.
And he's gone. He locked up. This is unbelievable, dude. Oh, wow. He locked up. You can't even. Wow. Hunter, I don't know the answer, and Jay's gone. So, Hunter, you're going to have to help me out when you see the right answer. So let me know. And by the way, I never said Drake had great tradition, everyone. I said I think it's as good as a basketball school right now, currently, as OU is. I'm not talking about who had a better players in the NBA, whose tradition is better. Right now, I think Drake's as good as OU's program. Period. End of story. Hunter, let me know if you see the correct answer, because I don't know the answer. I don't follow Drake basketball, okay? But when it's on here, let me know. And, hey, the fact that Jay's last words were tremendous. So I'm going to finish. I didn't know I didn't know Drake had tremendous. I think he was going to say tradition there. I really don't know, but this is unbelievable that on the middle of trivia, Jay does this. He sells. This is typical. This is typical Jay, dog, right there. And there he is right there.
Dude, that's like I don't know if the gods got me, man. When I put that out, my whole internet literally crashed.
Well, 1971 was the answer, apparently.
Well, that's a great program, isn't it?
Looks like no one said their tradition.
You did.
There. No, I didn't.
You said it's a better program than Oklahoma.
It is a better one right now.
No, it's not.
In my opinion, it is.
One win since 1971, Jeremy.
I didn't say the past.
You said it's a better basketball program. How can you say
it is right now?
It is not.
Okay.
Jeez.
Jay, tomorrow come to me with how much NIL they got.
It's such a good program. It's such a great program that their coach just left there to go to Iowa.
That's his dream job. Iowa's a better
Iowa's a tremendous program, isn't it?
Iowa's a great basketball school.
It's an okay basketball school.
Is Iowa a better program than OU in basketball?
You might could say similar. They're both mid of the conference.
Look, was I a little bit strong in my take about Drake? Yes. But the point was to highlight the fact that I'm not counting out that he doesn't go to a place like that. So anyway, I'll be wrong. I don't care. OU tradition is better than Drake. I'm not lying that. I'm not.
Hey, I got to say, appreciate everybody tonight. Hey, for the first 30 minutes or so when I was on there, the ones that called in, KB, Jackson, KB, loved the banter at first between me and you. I know we were kind of disagreeing. Love it. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate everybody. It's been a fun night tonight. Hope everybody tomorrow has a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.